Hello everyone. Welcome back for another Sunday Ideas. I tried this idea with photopolymer stamps. It wasn't working. So I'm going to try it to see if it works with some red rubber stamps. Maybe it's the photopolymer with it. I don't know. We'll find out. So I switched everything around and I'm doing the kissing technique, but I'm going to use Unity Stamps Impeccable Silhouettes. You have to have a solid image. Then I'm using Arden Creative Studio. This is Maker's Marks, and I'm using this image here. That's photopolymer, so we'll see how it does. My sentiment comes from Rubbernecker, and it's just because. I used a strip of the Barnyard Bouquet pattern paper, the black and the white. I have a piece of white to stamp on, a black background, and my card base. So I'm trying something different here. I'm going to put this down, and I've put all my chicks on one block, and I'm going to try stamping it across there. So the first thing I have to do is I have to ink this up with my black. All right, now I need to have some water here. So I can clean this stamp in between. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on here, kiss that one, take it off. Ooh, this one might work. Of course, naturally I hadn't used that, so I had to prime it. All right, now I'm going to take this one, kiss it. Yeah, I think it's going to work. I think that's the key. And if you have a bunch of the red rubber stamps around, this will work for you. All right, now I'm not worried about the extra dark on there. That'll just add some interest. So let me get this straight. I am going to huff on this real quick just to play it safe. And I hope this works. All right, I'm going to put it down and wait a few seconds for it to transfer. Other than that one. And I think I'm going to hide that somehow, some way, because those other two worked. So there's that. So now you can see what the kissing technique does. If you have a bigger pattern stamp, that would probably work. And you know what I can do? That's the one. I can take this one off, and let's see if I can get this lined up back on there and press down. Close enough. All right, let me move those out of the way. All right, wipe my hands off. I think I'm going to go get some green and add some green grass on the bottom. I'm going to blend in some green. Just so they don't look like they're up in the air. That looks better. All right, finally. So if you're going to do this technique, you got to use red rubber. You can use a photopolymer to kiss it, but the red rubber you have to have for the stamp. What happens is the ink bleeds up on the photopolymer, and you don't get a good image. All right, wave that a little bit. I think I'm going to put this I think I'm going to go all the way to the top with that. And then I can add my sentiment underneath. And this might be longer than it needs to be, which it is, because I couldn't remember if this was 5 inches or 5 1/8, or 5 1/16 rather, and it was 5 inches. So I cut it big, because that way I'd have plenty. All right, now I need my sentiment, and I need my black. All right, and I need some gold gems. Where are my gold gems? Let me see if I have any over here. All right, let's get this put together after all the problems I've had. All right, phew. You know, these techniques that were around years ago, you know, we didn't have all of the photopolymer stamps. All we had was red rubber, so that's why it works. So learn something new today. All right, I'm going to put this on here. That's a fun way to give your solid stamps some interest also. All right, let me have one of these. I'll put it there. I'm going to go to my little ones. I'll put it there. And there. And there's the kissing technique. This was definitely an interesting experiment. I went through all of this trying to get it to work, only to find out photopolymer doesn't work. Red rubber. So give this a try with your red rubber stamps. I know you have some. Have a sensational Sunday. Bye.